We're sleeping with fishes here in the belly of a whale. We're talking about Veggietales Jonah. Theme music.
Two sides of the same coin.
That podcast is weird.
Hello and welcome to Two Sides of the Same Coin. I am your host, Noah Hewitt, the loony host, the host who does two not family-friendly episodes and then does a family-friendly episode. I am joined here today by a special guest, my friend Dylan, the Cosmic Christian. I got that right?
Cosmic Reader.
Cosmic Reader. Someone called you, I think Nick called you the Cosmic Christian. But that does have a kind of a nice ring to it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dylan, we're talking about Jonah, a Veggietales movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've done a Veggietales episode. It was actually the 10th episode I did. And that was the highest played episode for a very long time until as of recording this week.
Wow, that's amazing.
This week now top I think it's top 5 Disney songs are currently at the top. And if you listeners make this episode, another Veggietales episode, the most listened to episode, I will find you. No, I'm kidding. Or am I? All right, Dylan. I guess let's get right into it, shall we? All right.
Right.
I got the Wikipedia page pulled up. Directed by Phil Vischer and Mike Nawrocki, founders and main creators of Veggietales, and also most of the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Vischer and Mike Nawrocki. They did like majority between the two of them.
That's funny.
Most of the voices. Let's see. Jonah, a Veggietales Movie, is a 2002 American animated Christian musical comedy adventure film. Wow, that's a Christian musical comedy adventure film. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Produced by Big Idea Productions and released by Artisterin Entertainment through its FHE Pictures label. Written and directed by Phil Vischer and Mike Nawrocki, and in their feature directorial debuts, it is the first of the 2 theatrical films in Veggietales series before The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, a Veggietales movie in 2008. The themes of the film are compassion and mercy, using 2 stories as illustrations, linked by the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, who were the first seen in the silly song of the same name in Very Silly Songs. The first story takes place in the current day and concerns a mishap with Bob the Tomato and Dad Asparagus on the way to a concert. The second is set in ancient times, or biblical times, and is based directly on the biblical story of Jonah. Through both stories, compassion and mercy play a role in giving people a second chance.
Right. You know, I find it funny that it says that part of the story is based around biblical times when you'd see the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything around that same time.
They like to put a lot of modern references in. Veggietales loves their modern references in anything they do, especially the biblical stories.
Yeah. Like, it's funny that they somehow in those times sell cheese curls.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, so, fun fact, originally it wasn't going to be cheese curls. They did a lot of testing and, like, pre-screenings of this movie. It was supposed to be, like, Mr. Twisty's Twisted Leafies, because like Khalil the caterpillar was eating them, or was found in a sack. So like, what do caterpillars like but leaves? And they found out that didn't really work. So they were like, why not? We'll put in cheese curls. Yeah, they did a lot of modern references in this, but hey, I loved it. Especially the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything. That was the main driving force of this movie. it's like, what can we do with pirates that don't do anything? It's like Jonah. It was either Jonah or Noah. And the only reason they didn't do Noah was just because of so many animals. Hard to animate. There's a lot of things that they struggled to like animate in this movie. And also we're like 3D animation, especially like a lot of this was made in the 90s.
Right.
It was a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it was still kind of very new.
Yeah, very new. I would say this is kind of like ground breaking, especially like for 3D animation. Because I don't think we didn't have a whole lot of 3D animation. Well, like obviously a lot of it came out in the early 2000s, like
Right.
Pixar, like Toy Story, and like Ice Age and stuff.
Right.
And I think some people who worked on Ice Age came and worked on this film.
Yeah, but still was very less than what we do have now.
Yeah, but I still when I watch this movie, I'm still in awe, like just for the level of detail and everything. Because I feel like I mean, yes, I would say animation today is better, but I feel like there's not as much sometimes detail or heart like put into today's animated films, like just the tiniest detail. It's just how quick can we get this done and out. But yeah. Let's see. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? The opening credits and music, that was pretty cool.
Right.
Especially just the like the water, the transition to like the night sky. Which, you want to guess what animated movie inspired the opening to this film?
Oh, what?
A Land Before Time.
Nice.
Yeah, actually, that's not the only movie. Almost every scene of this film was inspired by a different like movie, whether obscure or like big motion picture.
Yeah, I could see that. And when it comes to like biblical media, I feel like that's sort of a problem.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like we can't just go off of what's popular in order to teach kids about the Bible.
I get what you're saying. I really do. Counter argument. Well, one, Mike Naraki and Phil Vischer, especially Mike Naraki, big film buffs. I'm pretty sure someone's probably going to correct me on this. They worked a little bit in Hollywood, not a lot, because I know they're mainly were based around Wisconsin. I have no idea now, because some of my information that I'm going off of is from like the 2000s. Another thing, sometimes, I mean, I do agree, shouldn't sugarcoat the message.
Right.
Like, that's why I love the Chosen. Not a whole lot added. I mean, some stuff is added, but like for good reason. This, I mean, as I've said this, and also my friend Zach from Godfellas, hi Zach, has said many times, media should not replace like the actual written word.
Yeah, exactly.
But be more of a instrument, or be like, oh, I kind of want to like read this. It should never replace.
Yes, I totally agree.
Should never replace. And also, in like Mike and Phil's defense, they added a lot of modern references and like a lot of this film, a good portion of this film, is ad-libbed. Like, just like a lot of the jokes, a lot of the scenes, because the whole book of Jonah, not very long.
Right.
not very long. They could have probably made a regular like Veggietales video out of this, but I get they wanted to push for a movie, and I honestly, there's not a whole lot out of this movie I would cut. I kind of like it as it is. Also, if you're wondering where I'm getting some of my facts from, I literally listened to I listened to the audio commentary last night of Mike and Phil over the movie. I did kind of I'll be honest. I was hammered. I was hammered. It helped me get through the commentary. I mean, I love Mike and Phil. I really do. But it was sometimes they were getting very technical and I didn't completely understand. I'm not huge I love animated movies, don't get me wrong. I don't know a lot about some of the softwares and stuff.
Right.
It was cool to learn about some of the movies that inspired this film, but I don't know, just to pay attention through all that while also watching a movie in the background. And then I tried watching one of the funnier commentaries, didn't get all the way through it. Yeah, so we start off in I believe the middle of Wisconsin. I think that's what I mean, because they're going to a concert.
Right. They're driving straight there.
Yeah. That song in the beginning, do you love Billy Joe McGuffrey? I personally love that song. I don't get tired of it.
Yeah.
Which was funny. It was we wrote the couple verses of the song, and then we were like, oh shoot, we got write the rest of the 12 verses. And then porcupines pop the tires. I mean, not realistic, but funny.
Yeah.
And then they crash into a clothesline.
Yeah, they crashed
into underwear.
I think it was either the asparagus or the tomato that
pulled
out.
The tomato was driving.
Yeah, they pulled out the wheel.
Yeah. Classic cartoon comedy. You gotta love it. And they crash, and then there's a mystical seafood restaurant. The whole seafood joke. They said we knew kids weren't gonna get it. We did that for the parents, and I was just like, I mean, there's some jokes that make you chuckle. Adults will love this joke, and I'm like ha, ha ha.
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, the seafood restaurant was supposed to be like a Twilight Zone kind of thing, untouched by time. And then they get in there after talking to the hosts of the establishment. Junior runs into the pirates who don't do anything.
Right.
Which love that. I'm a huge fan of the pirates who don't do anything, even from the original silly song. That was the most played silly song. I don't know to this day. I honestly don't. I don't follow a lot with current Veggietales, especially after the whole Netflix fiasco.
Right. I don't really follow the current state of Veggietales 2.
Yeah.
I thought they were canceled at one point.
They were. Netflix was canceled, and then new show restarted because I don't know if you've seen the Netflix animation. Horrible. It was complete redesign almost. And then I don't know. I believe Big Idea still has a part of it. I know they're partnered or owned by someone else. I know the streaming service they're attached to currently is Yippee. And that did a whole new show. Looks like classic Veggietales. I haven't seen it. I've heard semi good things. I do not believe all the original voice actors are there. And also, sometimes you age and the voice sounds different.
Right.
But okay. pirates meet the pirates who don't do anything. Which, wow, they haven't aged. As I said, Twilight Zone kind of thing. I didn't really buy. I'm a kid. I was a kid when I watched this.
Yeah.
I don't. If you're, I don't know. I feel like you can't attack this movie seriously.
Yeah, you really
Like Veggietales doesn't do anything seriously.
Yeah, you really can't take it seriously.
They take a Bible story and try to make it like interesting for kids, or like so your kids will go and like, okay, read the Bible story.
Right. Like I found it funny. I remember seeing this one clip when they tried to do the story of David.
Yeah.
And to get past the censorship, I think it was the pickle.
Yeah.
He was like looking at Bathsheba's ducks, like rubber duckies.
Wait. Are you talking? No. Okay. I'm sorry. I was getting confused. You're talking about King George and the ducky. No. You're fine. No. Correct. Story of David and Bathsheba, and he did like essentially Bathsheba on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
But it was Junior with a ducky. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm sorry. You said Dave, and I immediately went to Dave and the Giant Pickle. Yeah. The pirates who don't do anything tell the story. Of Jonah. Mostly throughout the film, what do? They don't do anything. Then we're introduced to Jonah, which that next opening number is like, that was pretty catchy. It's like, do not fight, do not cheat, do. A message from the Lord. Yeah, pretty good. They put some references in that I didn't completely understand, because I guess 3 of the food stands went from like bagels, Starbucks.
Right. Like, and when Jonah came in, he looked pretty chill on that camel.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm a messenger.
Yeah, I'm a messenger from the Lord. Yeah, that scene was pretty good. And then like you see Jonah like praying, like talking to God. Like, a message? All right, what is it? I'll be there in the morning. And then obviously God wants him to go to Nineveh. And like he's hesitant, which I have to say, one thing I have appreciation for now that I didn't is that like little 2D clip of like describing Jonah. Not Jonah, Nineveh. Like the stairs, you know what I'm talking about, like that little 2D section.
Yeah.
So that wasn't actually made by Big Idea. That was actually another 2D animation studio, which I'm gonna look up really quick. It's called I believe Calabash Animation. I know they have won an Oscar for an animated short film that I've never. I don't watch a whole lot animated shorts, but they did that little animated section. Calabash Animation is a Chicago-based animation and VFX production studio known for its 2D and 3D work for commercial short films and feature films. What have examples of the work? Brand mascots. They contributed to Space Jam.
Nice.
So that's cool. And then obviously he attempts to run away. And I don't know. And then I did think it was weird when people were like, "Hey Jonah, what's the word?" And he's like, "There is no word. I'm getting out of here."
Yeah.
And then he runs, and he's like, meets the pirates who don't do anything, because they're the only people who are willing to sail to the place that he wants to go, like the Tarshish, the opposite end of the world.
Right. I find it funny that they own a ship, but yet it's in their name. They don't do anything. They don't do.
Yeah.
They don't have a job.
Oh well, they literally say, "Oh, we don't do." I mean, they in the when they're like when the transition from like modern times to biblical times, like they're literally like offered a job because they can't like pay their tab, and it's like, and the guy's like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "I'm pretty good at lawn darts,
Yeah.
ping pong. I like to play ping pong. Croquet is my specialty."
Yeah. And then the guy shuts the door.
Yeah, yeah, and Jonah is like, "Sell me to this place. Money's no object." And they're like, "All right, let's go." I don't know. I love all the little antics, like playing games and ping pong,
Mm-hmm.
and like, "Oh, we get to Tarshish. Ho ho's on me."
Mm.
And then Jonah goes to sleep. Jonah meets Khalil.
Yeah.
Which, how do you feel about Khalil, Dylan? Some people think he's a little controversial. Some people don't like that he's not a worm.
I think he's okay. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's a nice addition to the cast.
Yeah.
Does bring a lot of levity to, a lot of Jonah's situations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously they added him in there because there is a worm in the story of Jonah. Very minor part. Because like a worm eats the weed that Jonah like sits under.
Right.
And they were gonna do a worm, but they couldn't get a worm to like not look creepy.
Right.
And the style animation.
Right. So yeah.
It wasn't Microphil, it was someone else. He said, it was like, well, why don't we do Caterpillar? And how about it's like, he'll be like, my mother was a caterpillar, my father was a worm, but I'm okay with that now.
Yeah.
And that was like the whole like pitch when they like went to switch over to Caterpillar, and it's like, let's make him like slightly insecure about that, and like that's why he listens to motivational tapes.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved Khalil through the entire film. Loved him. And then obviously they go into a storm, and okay, we need to draw lots, but instead of drawing lots, let's play goldfish to see who takes a swim. And of course, Jonah like loses. And a fun fact that I didn't know about this, so in the book of Jonah, like they do attempt to like row back,
Right.
but can't do it. So the scene that they inserted in the movie was like the whole like motor scene,
Mm-hmm.
like trying to do the motor was their attempt to like row back. Obviously it fails.
Yeah.
And then Jonah jumps in, and the storm immediately ceases.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the whole scene of like the whale, or well, yeah, in the movie whale, in the book just a big fish.
Yeah.
Some people get like really like wound up about that.
Right. Like some people, I think I heard theories that it could have been like Leviathan or something like that.
Yeah, it could have. I mean, does it really matter?
No.
Does it really matter? Like, do we have to get that bent out of shape? That's like, well, Jonah wasn't swallowed by a whale. He was swallowed by a big fish. I'm like, it's not a whale a big fish?
Right.
Like, even if it was, it's like, I mean, honestly, like, I don't even know what whale means in Hebrew. Like, it could,
Right.
for all I know right now, like, whale could mean big fish in Hebrew.
Right. Like he could have been swallowed by a shark for all I care.
Yeah. Does it matter to the story? Not really. Well, shark might be a little bit, because like sharks, they kind of like, they don't really eat things whole, but still, that's besides the point. that whole swallow animate, like the chase scene of like when the whale like first goes to swallow Jonah, that was inspired by Jaws.
Yes.
Like that whole scoring.
Yeah, I definitely recognized that when I heard the score.
Yeah. It wasn't. They went to their musical director, like Kurt Heineke. It's like, make this Jaws, but not Jaws, so we don't get sued.
Right.
And they do that a lot in anime. Well, in Hollywood. And then, yep, Jonah gets swallowed, and then the boat's getting dragged. Which that pirate ship looks amazing. That's one of the most like spectacular things in the film. And then I don't know if you noticed, there was a lot of references to Larry Boy, I think, in the film. I don't know, apparently there was a plunger that you could see. I didn't quite see it. I think it was a Larry Boy bowling bag. I could be wrong.
I mean, that makes sense with the bowling ball.
Yeah, the bowl. They shoot leisure wear. It's like, well, the pirates don't do anything. They wouldn't have like regular ammunition, so like leisure wear made sense. And then they had to like, just to make it look nice, they obviously like did the little pop-up cannon. And then the whale gets away. And then you see Jonah sitting in the whale, which that was very nice.
Right.
They're ode to Pinocchio.
Right. That makes sense. Like it does seem like a reference to Pinocchio.
Oh, yeah.
And like before we get into like the scenes where he's in the whale, I gotta add that like the scene where the pickle prays.
Oh, no, you mean when Paul Gray the Paul Gray prays before Jonah goes in. So fun fact about that. I don't know if you were gonna say this. That was from that whole part where he prays, right from the Bible.
Wow.
Right from at least that's what Mike Naraki said. NIV, except for and keep my ducky safe.
Yes, exactly. That was the funny part. Like keep my ducky safe, and of course God at least answered the ducky part.
yeah. That was very good. That was really good. So he's in the whale, and he's a little depressed, and then Khalil shows up and he's like, and then we have the whole gospel choir, which one of the best parts of the film, one of the best songs of the film, Second Chances.
If you
can believe God's love is true, then you should know what you should do. It's that was. They reached out to an actual like gospel like label,
right?
And it was great.
Yeah, and it made me think of like another theory that people might have with Jonah. Some people thought that he actually did die in the fish and got resurrected when he got out. So
that's very interesting. Or like if not dead, like very close to death.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, as someone who studied the scripture and like also, I mean, not to throw this out there, got a degree for it. I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that, though. That would probably bring up a bunch of biblical discussion, knowing, because you know your theologians, they love to argue about scriptures and interpretation.
Right.
So another thing that I had written down, the whole gospel choir like scene, heavily inspired by the Blues Brothers movie. I've never seen it. A lot of the movies referenced in this, I haven't seen it. Another thing. I forgot. I mean, yeah, I'll say. So, like, like, the Ninevites are known for, like, fish slapping.
Right.
You want to know what that's inspired by?
Monty
Python.
Really?
Not like, I mean, they're well known for Camelot and not Camelot. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. They're mainly known for that and like Life of Brian.
Mm.
But I believe it was a particular skit that inspired that, the whole fish slapping thing.
Mm.
And then he gets spat out of the whale. And then he's all pale and covered in seaweed. And then Reginald shows up. He's like, Reginald, good to see you. I love that camel. And then the desert scene was a little drawn out. I mean, it was only a couple seconds of just him like walking through the desert to Nineveh.
Right.
But apparently that was all inspired by Lawrence of Arabia. Another movie, haven't seen. Own it, haven't seen it.
Mm.
And then like he gets to Nineveh. They won't let him in. And then who's there? The pirates who don't do anything. It's like, Jonah, we thought you were fish food. It's like, how are you here? And they're like, well, you don't want a refund, do you? It's like, well, it's good because we spent it all on cheese curls. Cheese curls? We won the Mr. Twisty's Twisted Sweepstakes. Which the factory is like in Nineveh. And then they get him in, and then they get busted because of Larry the Cucumber. Like, I thought they were free samples. And then they're like tied at the stake with like a giant fish slapping device.
Yeah.
Which originally Phil Vischer wanted them to get burned at the stake, which might have been a little dark for for
definitely that would have been
movie.
really dark. But I could kind of argue the whole fish slapping thing was pretty dark too.
Oh yeah, it was the slap of no return. I don't know. I like the little bits though before like what did Paul Grape was like blaming Larry. He's like, oh, you had to take him, and then Mr. Lyon's like, no, blame him. He's like, put in all the cheese curls. He said. I said, a little stocks, maybe a little bonds. No, put it all on cheese curls.
Right. And like with the whole fish slapping, like how everybody in Nineveh likes to slap fishes. From my tiny research around Wikipedia, it's cool that they were able to find a clever way to show the sinful nature of the Ninevites.
Yeah. I thought that was also like very, very clever. And then the king comes out, which I didn't know this until I listened to the audio commentary. That Gord was like who played like King Twistifer, was from darn it was from a silly song. I can't remember which one. It's the one with I don't know. If you're a Veggietales fan, you know what I'm talking about. It's like it's from that silly song where at the end of is like, and what's your name? I don't have a name. I've been around since show 1 and I still don't have a name. And what do you think of that? I'm probably going to find out the name of that silly song afterwards, or it's just going to come to me once we stop recording. So they get set free, and the entire city of Nineveh like calls out to God for asking for forgiveness, and God shows mercy to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then as in the book of Jonah, though he given them the message, didn't expect God to show mercy, because it was just the swarmed people of like the Hebrews and the Israelites,
right?
And he sits there, and then God makes the weed, and then Khalil eats the weed, and then Jonah throws a tantrum, and then we get to the part where it's not that I have issues with. Now, before I like this recent rewatch and the audio commentary, my biggest issue with the film was like if you read the book of Jonah,
Right.
God comes to Jonah and speaks to him.
Right. I had an issue with that too.
And it's not in the movie. Now, and I thought like it wasn't in the movie at all. But as I like listened to the commentary, it was like that message came from Khalil.
Right.
Which is kind of like your guardian angel / kind of like Jiminy Cricket character.
Yeah, I could see that they would have pulled from that. But yeah.
And I don't get me wrong, I like it. Also love Khalil as a character. It doesn't feel like it hits as hard as it does in the Book of Jonah.
Right, exactly.
Because it's coming from
God himself.
Yeah, it's coming from God himself and like not like a mortal being.
Right. Like from what I remember from the Book of Jonah, of course God explains like should I not pity the Ninevites as you should have pitied the plant?
Yeah. Yeah, because all right, if I'm gonna compare, I mean, I feel like this. Whatever. I will reiterate once I say my point. I mean, I shouldn't really compare this movie and the scripture. Obviously, the one is like I should take to heart, and the other one is just a piece of media. But like at the end of scripture, you feel I felt convicted, especially after like God talking to Jonah, because like who have an eye like not forgiven or shown like mercy to or compassion, and I don't really, I mean, maybe other people felt differently. I don't really get that from Jonah. I mean, sure, the characters go through it, but as soon as like the whole like Jonah tantrum scene, I feel like the movie drags a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially, I feel like if I would cut out anything of the film, it would be that I would literally, as soon as Khalil's done talking, done. Like the whole like him walking away and the camel walking away and like Jonah like crying out, because Jonah's not crying out at the end of the book as far as I know,
Right.
because God doesn't like turn away from him. I do forget a little bit, because I think about how that book ends, because I think it just ends with God speaking, as far as I know. And then also I might cut out that whole what did Jonah learn? What do you mean? And then the questions turn back on to him. Is like, well, it's not what did Jonah learn. It's like, what did you learn?
Yeah, exactly.
Which that's a valid line. And then Paul Grape's like done. And like, but wait, it's like, what do you want from me? A big musical number? Which that whole like Jonah was a prophet. That whole scene and song was inspired by Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
If you haven't, worth the watch. It's pretty good. I performed in it in high school, but
Nice.
the musical that you can I think watch online or get the DVD or VHS tape if you still watch those. Donny Osmond's in it. It's pretty good.
Right. But yeah, I do agree that like the ending kind of did drag a little bit. For me personally, I would have stopped at like the two kids learning, to be more compassionate with each other and
I mean, I wouldn't cut Jonah Was a Prophet. I still like that song. And I thought Khalil showing up again as the tow truck driver was a little funny.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too.
Because originally, apparently the three angels were going to show up at the end, and it didn't really do anything for audiences, so they switched to Khalil.
Right, like, don't I know you from somewhere? And then he looks at the camera.
Yeah, he did. Well, he does the eyes. Apparently, heavily inspired by Groucho Marx. You probably don't know. Do you know who Groucho Marx is?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you worth looking up. Old comedian, or like from black and white TV. Yeah, I love Phil and Mike, but they did a lot of references that were just, I don't know if they, I mean, obviously I think they're like film majors, but they're watching stuff and referencing stuff that, like, I grew up in the 2000s and I didn't know a lot of the things that they're referencing until, like, as I got older. Like, I know who Groucho Marx is. He's a funny dude. I know who Monty Python is. They're funny. Lawrence of Arabia is like a well-known film, but some of the references I don't quite get. But then again, maybe you're not supposed to, because I still loved the movie without the references. What about you?
I would say the same thing. Like, of course, as a kid, I didn't get most of the references. And it was fun looking back at the film and, you know, just remembering my childhood. My sister doesn't remember much of it somehow, but like, you know, I remember just enjoying this film. It's probably, I've only seen like maybe 4 or 5 biblical movies in my entire life.
Wow.
And that's because a lot of people talk about how most of them are not pretty well directed.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's a false statement. I mean, there's quite a bit of biblical films made that weren't well directed or weren't well written at all. It's like, you have the story, but we're gonna do our own thing. I mean, I know my friend Zach from, another shout out to my friend Zach from Godfellas. Zach and Hannah. Love you guys. They haven't done it. They haven't done the podcast for a little bit, but I still listen sometimes. They did a bunch of episodes on like biblical movies that weren't quite biblical. Like, they did Daniel. They did Samson, which I kind of want to see, even though I hear it's really bad.
Right.
And they've done numerous other films that it's just like, you have the story, but why can't you do it to like accurately?
Right.
The same can be said about like other films based on literature. Like, I mean, I hate to say this, like the family friendly episode, but Frankenstein.
Right.
Like, we haven't got like a good Frankenstein film that's like based on the like the Mary Shelley novel, at least not one that I'm aware of. Though there's one coming out in October on Netflix.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. When it comes to like literature and stuff, like I don't really mind it if it's, I don't really mind the changes if it's like fictional literature, but when it comes to historical, sometimes I mind the changes, especially when it comes to biblical stuff. I would honestly say when it comes to Jonah, it's probably my number 3rd favorite biblical film that I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? What's the other biblical films have you seen?
I've seen Passion of the Christ.
Okay. I personally haven't seen it. It's on my list.
Yeah. My number 1, my favorite one is The Prince of Egypt.
That's fair. That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna look up really quick on biblical. Yeah, I would say Prince of Egypt has to be up there for me too. Have you seen also Joseph?
No,
Also, it's saying like also done by DreamWorks.
I'll have to check that out.
It's came out after Prince of Egypt, and their whole marketing was like the greatest animated movie since Prince of Egypt and Lion King. It's not.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty good. Biblical movies.
I've seen the movie from Angel Studios, His Only Son, which I enjoyed.
Yeah. Yeah, I personally haven't seen it. I know there's a little controversy about it. But I think I don't see anything wrong with it. I've seen Exodus Gods and Kings. It's okay. Ridley Scott film. I believe it was a Ridley Scott film.
Yeah.
It was okay. I did a review with it. Yeah, it is Ridley Scott. I did a review with
Right.
Another shout out with Godfellas about it. It was okay.
Right. I didn't want to see it at first because it's because Ridley Scott's more Hollywood.
So, Ridley Scott, when it came to a biblical movie, I felt like he did drop the ball quite a bit. But for kind of like faith film, a film that I recommend to like everyone is Kingdom of Heaven. Because there's a lot of lines like from there that I feel like that a lot of like Christian men should like I don't know, either admire to or store in their heart. I mean, like scripture should be the first thing you store in your heart, but there's some things there's just so many like lines from there that I feel like it's a good like faith film because a lot of people give me a second. I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna look for my phone really quick. I have a letterbox review that I want to read of that film really quick.
Gotcha.
All right, so my letterbox review of this film, if I can find it. I know it's in here. Warriors Way, Kingdom of Heaven. So this is one of my like five out of 5, like perfect 10 movie for me. In this movie, there are men who use religion for what they can get, and then there are men with true legitimate faith, much like real life.
Right.
No, I love this film. It's, I wouldn't say necessarily a Christian film, but a faith film. And it was a lot better than Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, if I'm gonna count my change, Dylan, how would you rate this movie from a scale of like 1 to 10? Or as I like to, I haven't done this a while on the show, but so from like nothing to like $1,
right.
How would you rate this movie?
Honestly, maybe if we're going back to like the number scaling, around like an 8.5.
So like 80 cents.
Yeah, 80 cents.
Yeah.
I maybe it's mostly due to my nostalgia and my love for this film.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like even though they had like a lot of modern references, the way they did tell the biblical story of Jonah, I felt like was really clever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry. I was looking at another Letterboxd. So I did a Letterboxd review of this back in January of last year. Love the animation. Love the music. Like most of the jokes, it's mostly biblically accurate. Would have perfect. It would have a perfect score if it was a regular veggie. No, it would be perfect if it was a regular Veggietales episode. I said that back then, but I don't know. See, I don't know if I'd want to change anything about it though.
Right.
I mean, well, obviously, besides the things at the end that we said we would cut, I said 3.5 stars, so out of 5. So I would say, yeah, I would say it was maybe. For me, I would say like a 7 or a 7.5, so like 70 cents.
Okay.
Not quite an 8. I also, I guess it depends on the day. It's definitely something I can watch again. And I think, I mean, we definitely like it than what most of the internet does, because I know it's rated. What? It's rated on IMDb. It's a 6.5. Rotten Tomatoes, I think it has a 64% on critics, 75% for popcorn meter, which is viewers. Wow, it only has 10,000 ratings. That's
I'd say that's a decent score.
No, I say it's a decent score too, but that's only usually a lot of movies have like more than like hundreds of thousands of ratings. But then again, this movie came out way before Letterboxd, and also not super well known. Cause I wonder what's the box office? They did break even, but sadly, see, the box office of Jonah, the total gross was 25 million worldwide. Pretty good. Production was 14 million. I believe though the movie was a success, I think Big Idea did go bankrupt.
Oh.
And then did get like sold out, and I think there was another saw, but I don't know all of the details. Though yeah, it did decent. I wonder. Let me go back to the Wikipedia. Let's see if there's anything about. I mean, I believe they went bankrupt after the film. Though, yeah, this was their first full feature film, and they did a second film. They did the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything movie, which I didn't know that did get theatrically released. But I had no idea. I wanted to see that film. I wanted it on DVD. I had no idea it was going to theaters, or I would have seen that when I was a kid. And fun fact, 2026, they're coming out with another film, supposedly theatrically released.
Nice.
Larry Boy Begins.
Okay.
Which I think that's kind of interesting. And obviously my brain went right to Batman Begins.
Right.
Let's see. Okay. No, Wikipedia doesn't say anything about what happened to the studio afterwards. Okay. No, I definitely enjoy the film. I definitely enjoy Veggietales. It probably won't be the last Veggietales episode. that we do on this podcast. I was going to read some of the letterbox reviews, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't like some of these reviews. This movie was so unironically good for some reason. And some, I don't know, a lot of these comments are kind of random and weird. But yeah. Yeah, today we've talked about the movie Jonah. I am your loony host. Thank you for listening. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. If you're listening on YouTube, please give us a like. Please comment and subscribe so you know when we're uploading. And thank you, Dylan. Thank you, the Cosmic Reader. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Where can the lovely people find you?
Oh, you can find me at the Cosmic Reader YouTube channel. Also, you can find the Cosmic Reader on Instagram. And stay tuned for when I might upload in Twitch.
Oh, okay. Looking forward to that. The links will be in the bio or description. Either or. And as I like to say, Jesus loves you. Watching cartoons gives you class. And make sure to go outside and touch some grass. Bye.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Two sides of the same coin.
That podcast is weird.